So I just got done telling this story to a group of friends and they got a kick out of it. So I figured I'd tell it on here. And I was going to put it in a status, but it was too long to put in a status. So yesterday, or no, Saturday night, I was walking through the city for the day, had a few engagements out there, and was just checking out the city. I love being out there. So I was walking through the city and I decided to take a walk through. I was in the West Village for a lot of the day, and then I had a jacket to pick up at the Macy's at Herald Square. And so I decided that I was going to walk through Times Square, which is always a mistake, always. And so I went over there, and there's a place like right off Times Square called It's Sugar, where they sell a bunch of candy. It's a real touristy spot. But if you go down to the basement, you can actually fill up a bag full of candy. It's one of them situations where you make your own bag and like it's a pound for a certain amount of money or half a pound or whatever. You put a few Jolly Ranchers in there and two Reese's cups and you already got half a pound. Um, and so I go in there because you could put, they got like individual Pez flavors, right? And you get like green apple Pez, strawberry Pez, and just banana runts and stuff like that. And I fill it up with basically those three flavors and I'm good to go. So I get my bag and I walk out of the store. And as I walk out of the store, I notice this kid walks up on me and he is close on my left side. But this is the touristy area, so people can get kind of close sometimes. But I notice he's like looking at me. So I notice he's looking at me and I look at him and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I keep it pushing. And he's staying right next to me. And as he's staying right next to me, he's doing this. He's like, and I'm like, what? I got some in my nose or something? Like, what's going on? And I asked him, like, what? I got something in my nose? And he just keeps going, like, and the first thought in my mind before having something on my nose is, that's a big fear of mine, by the way. I just having something on my nose, thinking I'm like looking cool and like telling good stories and shit like that. And then I got a fucking booger in my nose. That's a big fear of mine. So um, then I'm like, yo, he's trying to sell me Coke. And because people right now, you go to Times Square, tourist areas, they'll walk up on you and try to sell you Coke. And so I, I'm just keeping it pushing. Usually, you keep it pushing. They'll leave you alone, go to the next person. But I notice he's staying on my side, and he keeps looking at me, and he keeps going like this. And he's like, and I look at him, and I'm saying, yeah, do I got something in my nose? I got what? And he's like, so at this point, we're stopped on the sidewalk, and we're looking at each other, and I'm like, did I get it? Did I get it? And he's like, and now I'm like, yo, I might really have something in my nose, man. It's really in there. I hope I get it. And so he is standing there and he looks at me and he's like, I got something else for your nose, if need be. And I start laughing and I'm like, oh nah man, like I'm not into that. I'm good, man. I'm good. And like I've never done coke. That was never my thing. And I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm good. Appreciate it. And he keeps looking at me. He's like, are you sure you're good? Are you sure? And I was like, yeah, man, I'm sure. I'm sure. And he goes his way and I go mine. And I just before this, right? Literally just before this, I just put on the new jacket that I got from Macy's. And I'm walking through the city with my new jacket on and shit. And this had just happened like 20 minutes after I put this jacket on. And so, yeah, in my head, I'm like, yo, this kid really just tried to come up and sell me coke, like hard body, like going hard, trying to sell me coke. And so I'm thinking to myself, even if I did do coke, I'm not gonna buy it off some random fucking person with fentanyl and everything out there, off some random person just walking through the city. But I guess a big touristy area, I get it how you live. I guess that's how it goes. And so I'm going, oh my god, that was pretty brazen of him. And so I go home and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, this new jacket that I got, and I'll show you. I actually got the jacket right over here. It's this jacket right here, right? A little Top Gunish. That's the look I was going for. I always wanted one like this. It's getting cold out, so I figured I'll pick it up, right? And so I get home, and the next day I go and I look in the mirror, and in the mirror I look and I see in my nose, I got this nose hair that's like it's a long one, and and it's coming right out of my nose, and I'm like, oh shit. And I know this nose hair. I know this because I'm getting a little older. I'm getting up there in age a little bit, young OG, and so I'm starting to get nose hairs. That starts to become a part of the grooming routine every once in a while. And I know this nose hair because it comes like once every